So please reflect on the title. Uh, Very interesting title, and this is going to cover two chapters. This title has two parts, chapter number 13 and 14. Organizing and managing the profitable customer strategy enterprise. So in these two chapters, chapter 13 and 14, part 1 and part 2, you are going to see, as you will read, that the authors have very skillfully and in a very nice way, they have brought in the concepts which we already covered in the earlier chapters in the book, and for rightful reason, because they are talking about customer strategy, uh, enterprise wide customer strategy, and not just any customer strategy, profitable customer strategy. So first, for example, we try to understand that why it is important to understand the customer, the consumer, their needs, and then we establish that many times customers, consumers also don't know what they really want, and how various enterprise make, for example, their marketing strategies, the things you study in a marketing course, how they entice them so that they bring closer to the company, and not just any customer, talking about profitable customer, because we try to understand in this through this book that not all customers are equal. Some are more profitable than others. Uh, so what should be the way in which the organization should uh, first organize, find out which customers are profitable, and then manage them, take out most from them in terms of, for example, they use the terminology LTV, lifetime value of the customer, of the consumer. Uh, so these are the, so even before looking at the chapter, if I ask you, what do you think? What are some of the things which company should do to ensure that they keep on engaging their profitable customer? So first step should be to know, to distinguish between which customers are more profitable than the others. How a company finds that out? Looking at past sale record, keeping databases organized, uh, keeping the information organized, um, um, and that information should be available to sales staff across company. So availability, sharing of that knowledge also is very important, because how, when I walk in a grocery store, how that grocery store is going to know that Melissa is more profitable client for high-low because she do all different types of grocery, and maybe I am not such a profitable customer for them, because when I'm going, I'm only buying fruits for myself for that 1 hour, uh, in the lunch break or for the breakfast or something like that. So I'm not buying as much as maybe Melissa is. So she's maybe more profitable. So if there is a situation where Melissa and I have to make a complaint, and we make the call online, or send a text or send an email, and there is only it reaches to the same person who is maybe Shanika, and the our complaint goes to Shanika, and Shanika should know who is more profitable customer. So then Melissa is more profitable. So first maybe they should look at the complaint of Melissa and see how they can, or maybe transfer Melissa to someone who is maybe um, available free at that time, and they have more time to speak with Melissa and understand what really happened, you know, have a conversation. Um, That is very important because Melissa is their profitable customer. So, but they cannot do all those things if they have not distinguished customers. If they think that everyone is equal, which of course we are not saying people are not equal. People are equal, but then they are not equal. Yeah. So for a company, they need to understand that distinguish the ability to distinguish is extremely important for the company, and data helps it. But then organizing the data and then sharing that information across different channels can be it's very easy to say it, but to do it practically it is very hard, and that is why we don't see that type of customer service in regular companies, because they have not distinguished too much using the systems. If it is a small shop, small shop, corner shop in your community where they know you personally, or it is a small restaurant where you go all the time for your lunch and the same 3 4 5 people there, so they know you by face and they say, okay, hello Rodan, how are you? Hello Tashane, how are you? What is happening? You did not come yesterday. What happened? So because they know you, so then they are able to distinguish because they're profitable customers, because it is a small operation and they know you, and it is easy for them. But as the business increases, then you will have more customer reps, you will have bigger operations. uh, so in as it is going to grow, it is very important that you build some type of databases which distinguish, and from there you can create lifetime value which you can gather from that customer. And so it needs to be done in a very in a method. It is not that you just open a store and it will start you will start getting sales. Well, if it is new product, then of course people are attracted to newness. So many times people are just going there because it is new. They are trying out different products, different services. But to keep that customer, you need to understand that what I can get from this customer, what can I uh, get uh, uh, from uh, from the customer. And so that is why, if you reflect on previous chapters, as the customer walks in uh, any establishment, like let's say Hilo, because I gave example of that in earlier discussions. As I walk in that establishment, they need to know, people who are on the front desk and salespeople, just as I come in, they need to know at what am I profitable customer, what type of sales they can generate from me. I am there to buy whatever I am, what else they can sell. This is very important. And if a salesperson cannot do those things, then there is no need of salesperson. Like I have experienced it many times. Uh, um, I go to like to buy some shirt or something in Sovereign or somewhere, and I go there and they just come to me and they say, "What do you need? Are you okay? What do you need?" And it does not make sense because I'm just coming in, I'm just getting comfortable with the environment. Outside is maybe hot. I'm looking, and I'm going to look, and then I'm going to see what I like, and then I will just see, give a little bit time, and maybe observation at that time is maybe more important. If I were store manager, maybe I will give some guidelines on that. But then you need to know the culture of the society, what it is, because different cultures, some culture can be like people want to be asked, that when they come in they want to be asked. But do they want to be asked right away, like as you are just managing yourself and you are just collecting yourself? Yeah, yeah. If you are going to come and ask, why don't you come and ask like, would you like a glass of water? Why that cannot be asked? why you are asking, as I'm walking in the clothes store, you are asking, uh, what do I want? Or, yeah, what type of, like, it's, yeah. Um, I was traveling, and I wanted to buy some clothes, and I went to a shop, uh, and I remember it so clearly. Uh, I went to the shop, and the person who was sales guy, it's not in Jamaica, it is overseas. So, but it is a developing country. It's not a developed country. It's a developing country. So, um, and it was not the best shop in that category. It was like a medium range type of type of place. But it was at a place where a lot of other shops were there, a lot of shops selling the same type of clothing and stuff. So I went in the shop, and started looking, and the guy walks to me, and uh, he asked me very genuinely, he asked me that what I am looking for, very genuinely, with his body language extremely friendly. He was meeting me like he's meeting a friend, and this was the first and last time I went to that shop. Yeah. uh, um, so um, in a very nice way, he asked me, and he asked me what how much I want to spend. And as he was talking with me, his junior staff was there, and he said to the staff that bring a drink for this gentleman, and he asked me what would I like to drink. So that is the culture of that place also. Yeah. uh, I was raised in that type of culture, uh, growing up. uh, so, and it was genuine. It was not something which was fake from that guy, particularly speaking. So, because I have been now, for many, many years, I have been in Jamaica, so I am accustomed to our culture here, and I'm okay with that. So I kind of forgot that, that type of experience. So I started laughing. Yeah, I really started laughing, and I said, amazing. Uh, every culture has its strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, every culture has. Uh, now you can argue that if you start giving drinks to every customer, then how are you going to make a profit? But what I want to discuss is that what is profit for you? Is profit Can profit something intangible also for you, like the happiness of the customer? It happened now, like I think 4 or 5 years ago, when I was traveling before COVID, of course. This was, but I am talking about this, and I did not even plan it. And as I'm talking it, this example came in my mind. Um, and he showed me various things, and then I told him that I don't think I'm going to uh, buy from here. I told him very clearly, but still he insisted that I should have the drink which he uh, ordered for me. And uh, it would cost, like, it was not something expensive, of course, but something which I like. So he actually um, asked for a Pepsi. So he asked me, what would you like to drink? And I said, I would like to drink a Pepsi if you insist. And he brought that. So it's a like 100 Jamaican dollars, same price, 70, 80 Jamaican dollars. What is that? But the connection, it brought connection, and I did not even, made the sale. So, but I'm going to remember him whenever I visit that country, and if I want to, I would stop by. Even if I don't, I'm sending good vibes to that person. I'm giving his example to you guys. I don't remember the name of the shop or anything. I don't remember what I did after coming out of that shop. What I was doing before that shop, I really don't remember, honestly. I don't remember what else I did that day. But that experience, how I entered, how he came to me, what, it's so clear in my memory. It's so clear. Uh, and why this happened? It is, did I wanted to memorize that experience? No. Why would I? He did some things which made me remember the experience, how he made me feel. Yeah. So that is what you need to think about, maybe, if you are, and it's not, it's not a lot of money he spent on me. It's just the way he was talking, his genuineness. He was not fake. When I told him that I'm not going to make the buy, he continued, showed me different pieces, and he said, "All right, no problem, but look at this." Look, it was a master salesman, I would say. Of course, he was experienced. Uh, of course, he was experienced, but he was not old. He might be like, maybe was kind of my age. It's not like 30, 35, maybe something around that. Not not very old than me, the way I was looking at him. And um, so so now you go in any other shop, like, let's say, and tell the person that yes, and you tell them that I'm not going to buy from here. Are they going to show you other pieces? They're going to maybe make face, and you know what happens. You know how it is. And that sale is not that in the what we actually, the problem is that we feel that sale is a sale now. Like, if I'm selling you something, okay, I'm saying, Monique, this is the mouse I have, please buy it. And Monique says, well, I don't want to buy this one. So I think that this is over. No, it is not over. It is not over at all. I need to engage with Monique in a way that she remembers me. So maybe next time, whenever she want mouse, maybe she don't want it now. Yes, but you never know. It is this, that mindset is missing somehow, somewhere. Uh, it is like, when you had some affair or something, you go to someone and you tell them, well, I like you, and they tell you, well, we are not maybe interested. So if you keep on pressing, maybe it's a possibility something can happen. But if you give up so easily, then of course, then if you don't try, how you going to? It is same type of, I think, in the sales also. That relationship which that guy was developing with me was like, okay, you don't want it now, no problem. You are here, I am here. I don't have any other client right now. As a matter of fact, some people came during my interaction with him, and still he was. I think one person came. I don't. I would have to think, but as I'm thinking right now, so I think one gentleman came who was older than us, uh, and he did attend to that gentleman also. Uh, um, and like, when I left, he made me go in the way like a sales was done and he made the profit. This is how he let me go. From the experience, I could not distinguish if the sales is from his behavior. His behavior was as good as I did buy from him. This is what I experienced, and this is not some from any book. I experienced this. Uh, and I'm sure you guys also have, every now and then you must have at least one story where you can relate with this, like this is what happened. uh, so profitable customer is, need to think about that. Maybe someone is not profitable now, but might be profitable in coming years. Uh, and your book give a lot of examples. As you will read line by line, you will see many examples in the earlier chapters. I can recall two examples at least from the book which are giving the same type of sentiment, but I would like you to read the book and reflect on that. So this is what the overall sentiment of next two chapter is. What should be your strategy to increase revenues from customers who are distinguished in terms of which ones are profitable, how to organize them, how to manage them, some techniques they will show examples of different companies which you will have to read yourself in your own time. I will just make major points for the next two chapters, and then you will see how you can relate with what they are they are saying. Um, and uh, again, you know, the type of leader who is running the enterprise, that is going to be very important. uh, I don't know if that person was the owner of the shop or he was a salesperson. I don't really know that. He can be easily salesperson also, and but from his behavior, he was behaving like owner. But he was dressed very not like was not dressed like owner, but he was behaving definitely like owner. But definitely he had a lot of experience in the field, and he knew that, you know, customer comes, they don't like something, they say these things, well, I'm not gonna buy. They go out, they see others, they go to other shops. They're going to remember you if you treat them well. They are going to remember you. It's not the sales per se. The memory is going to be there. They might come back again, and the person might become your regular client. Maybe he will just buy from you. Who knows? So in that, you know, you have to see how much you can invest. He invested $100, 100 Jamaican dollar on me. Uh, Now you can say that that is money lost for the business. Yes, it is. If you think think about finance strictly, it is money lost for him. I did not buy from him. Even if I go, might not buy from him, to be honest. I might not. uh, but you have to stand out from the crowd. There were many shops which I visited, but I did not get that type of service which I got in that shop at other places. So he was able to distinguish uh, himself. Uh, Eventually, I ended up buying the clothes from another shop which was where they had more expensive stuff, uh, like more branded and those type of things were there. So maybe for that occasion I wanted because those type of clothes. So I ended up in that shop where customer service was fine, but not as good as it was pretty good. But the only difference was not asking the drink. Other things were quite quite same. But still that they were making the same type of connect comments, but the genuineness somehow I felt in the earlier shop. The, you know, when someone say something to you, I am saying what I am saying. You go to any service quality service session, they will be saying more or less the same things. They are the same things. It's not, they're not going to change drastically. Maybe examples were changed, but so you might feel that the other person you listen to, when they talk, they are more genuine or they are more trustworthy, or, you know, you might feel that when you go to some other session. So is the content is same, but you are feeling that maybe someone else is more um, more truthful in what they are saying. And in sales, it is the truthfulness, the integrity of the business, that what they are selling, this is what they are selling, is very important. uh, or vice versa, you might feel that when you listen to me, I come out as an honest person, or I mean what I say, and so on. It can be either, way. Organizing and managing the profitable customer strategy enterprise. Yeah, so these are the things you would have to think and reflect about. And if a customer is profitable and you are unable to treat him in a way which he deserves, because he's bringing profit to your business, he might leave you. So it is extremely important for you to really know which customers are profitable to you. For that, you will have to analyze data. You will have to be very clear about your business or your service, that what is profit to you? What do you consider profit? Uh, is it one time big sale from the customer and make a lot of profit from that? Because different commodities are there. We never discussed different commodities, like, but when you read the book, you see the examples, like, car. How often you are going to buy a car? How often you are going to buy a house? So in these type of, if I am a car seller, if I am a house seller, then I know that you are only maybe going to get one house, or maybe two in your lifetime, generally speaking. uh, General people don't buy like three, four, five houses. They have, like, if they make one house, they are happy with that. They might go to different places if they are on rent or something, but I'm talking about buying. uh, Same thing with car. How many cars you are going to buy in your lifetime? Three, four, five, maybe. How many? And generally speaking, many people even don't have car. If you think about it, now Jamaica, you might go on road and you are stuck in traffic, and you might feel so many cars in Jamaica. Maybe everyone is driving, but when you look at the statistics, it is nothing like that. Not everyone has a car, or is not as much privileged as maybe we are if we are driving, and so on. So what is profit? You would have to really. So in those type of sales, maybe if you think that you're just going to sell one car to this customer, and what is the likelihood he's going to come and buy again from you? You might do something unethical, or maybe don't tell them, explain them what is the fault or something. If it is a used car, with the house also, if it is used house, there might be some things which are maybe not in a good shape. You might, and then of course there will be laws and regulations which will save you eventually, maybe, hopefully. But then I am talking about the psyche of the enterprise. They might think is, yeah, not something which you buy again and again, like grocery. uh, it's not like that, so let me take advantage of the customer or something. It's possible, but then how are you going to build trust in those type of commodity businesses, where you don't sell a lot, you don't sell to the same customer, you don't sell a lot of houses, you don't sell a lot of cars and these type of examples, but you do sell a lot of meals to one customer. If I am eating out in the restaurant, I gave you a couple of examples. One Chinese restaurant, I remember, I gave you example where they would take order in seconds. I really remember giving orders in 7, 8, 5, 6 seconds. It's insane, because 5 seconds really go. But uh, they were, it's a big skill which that customer service person had. So it depends on your how you want to uh, look into what is profit to you, and how you want to engage customer, because you might be able to make 1 or 2 times, you might be able to trick the customer in selling a car and these type of commodities, but then the reputation of the business, how are you going to build that? uh, so it would be good for you to think in different industries, in housing industry where sales are few to one customer, and in like restaurant industry where you can sell a lot of meals to same customer over a period of time, lifetime value, LTV. Do look at that. What else? Work is of two kinds. First, altering the position of matter at or near the Earth's surface relative to other matter, moving something from here to there, in other words. And second, telling other people to do so. I found it, I found it very funny, very funny. So try to make sense of this after you have read the chapter. At that point in time, you will be able to maybe reflect on that. And these all these things which we have been talking about for the last half an hour or so, is who is doing these things? Brand managers, product managers, store managers, plant managers, finance managers, customer interaction center managers, webmasters, regional sales managers, branch managers, merchandise managers, and on and on. There are so many other, but they are doing essentially the same thing. Uh, they are organizing and managing their customers, and in that they are seeing who is more profitable, who we can make more sales, who are the customers we should ensure that we don't annoy them, because these are profitable customers. But then companies don't spend a lot of time in really understanding, especially as the business grow. This is not as much as a challenge as I explained earlier. If the business is small, then it is different. Like, this is a small session. I know almost all of you personally. I know your faces and I've interacted with you before. Yeah. So it's different for me to engage with you. But if it is a lot of people and I don't know them personally, then I would not know what is what. So this is what is the same thing for businesses. And as you are a small business, at that time you need to think about these things, not when you become big business. You can think about it anytime uh, in the life of businesses, but I would say that when you are small, at that time you build some type of processes, procedures, where you are collecting the data in the right way, and then also sensitizing your front desk customer reps that see these customers are very important for our business. So please ensure when you see these people, you pay attention to what they are saying. uh, and businesses do this. If you think deeply, there, as you work with a bank, if you are a high uh, value client, they will give you some type of card or some incentive, or they'll give you some number of manager or something. Okay, you can call the manager, or if you have some problem, you don't necessarily have to come to the bank. We can give you these type of services. Sometimes they charge for this, sometimes they just give it to the high value clients. In other industries also you can think about it. For example, when if you are, they have different names for all these things which I'm trying to explain, like frequent flyer program. So you travel a lot, your frequency is high of traveling, you travel first class, so you are of course bringing a lot of money to the company. First you travel a lot, that in itself is going to generate more money than other customers who travel. And then you travel first class maybe, or whatever is the top class, or one of the more expensive classes. different airlines have different names for that. So then of course your ticket is expensive, so you are even more profitable for the business. So then they will give you some type of incentives, like access to first class lounge, and other things which are, you can read on that. And when you travel, you can also observe that for basic regular flyers, uh, it's different line, different queue, it's longer. And for first class passengers and so on, they even create a different line, different queue, so they don't have to wait with everyone. So what is that? It gives them a little bit of a high. So yeah, you just come on the lounge, you just walk straight. You don't have to go in the line, go to the customer rep. They are doing your thing quickly because there is not many people in the line, and then they are directing you in a different place, in the different lounge, where there are different services. There is massage there, the seats are different, a lot of food is there, which is very nice. And it is free for you, free in the sense that it is free in that time, but you did pay for it because you bought first class ticket. Other things, all those type of things. If you can call the attendant, flight attendant, again and again, and they will come very quickly to you, because they are designated to deal with first class passengers. And in the regular class there are so many passengers and not as many flight attendants. So in the short flight, like 2 hours, maybe you will call the flight attendant now, and he might be able to come like the when you are 10 minutes away from destination. On the other hand, if you are on first class, it would come for you right away. So what is that they have? It's distinguishing. It is distinguishing. So businesses do that. All different types of cards, schemes, they try to distinguish. But many times the method is not really correct. Uh, is they A person who is profitable to your company, they need to feel very different than other people, and they need to see it, that yes, I buy this much of the stuff from this place every week, even household items or something like that. The business should do some things which make these people feel a little bit different. uh, they should, but they they maybe they maybe don't. uh, uh, so if you don't distinguish from your, then you won't be able to make a lot of profit from your service. um, the people who are spending more, they need to feel that they are in one way or another superior than the other consumer who is not paying a lot. But here comes the big problem, which is very big, because consumers don't understand this. Like if Vandalin is profitable customer and I am not, and we go to the shop and Alicia is the rep there, and Alicia gives high value treatment to Vandalin, in theory it is correct because Vandalin is profitable customer. So Vandalin knows that she's profitable. Alicia knows that because she has the data. I don't know that. Yeah, I have no idea Vandalin is what type of customer she is. I don't know. I just know that I am also customer, and I know that everyone is equal, equality. And I know that I need to be treated just like any other customer. So from customer point of view, this challenge comes in. So for companies who are going to give quality service, these are very big challenges, very big challenges. Uh, Very big challenges. Because when you as a customer, you see that someone else is treated in a different way, although they have paid for it. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Because all of us are human beings, we have the same type of feelings. Some of us are rich, other are not rich. When a rich person goes in the place and you are also there, and you see that the person is treated differently because of their wealth, how do you feel? uh, yeah. For businesses, it is every customer is important. It is just that more profitable customers are going to generate more revenue for the company, so for that reason. But other customers are also important because they are also doing some type of businesses. So then the business strategy, that is where the strategy comes in. Like, what is your strategy? Are you how much you are willing to piss off your low level customers? Like you are, yeah, then you are really targeting high value high value client. Just like, for example, Rolls Royce. You are not going to have you ever seen Rolls Royce advertisement anywhere, in any magazine, on TV, in news? Have you seen? You have not. Why you have not? I have not. Yeah, I have to look for it. I know where to look, but generally I have not. Yeah, why? Because we are not clients of Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce knows that we are not going to buy their product, so they are just going to stay away from that, all of that. And they know where to put. They do advertise, but in different. They will advertise in the lounges of first class frequent flyer travelers. They will advertise there. uh, and other type of those type of places they are going to advertise. So their strategy is clear. They know that this product, they are not making for, they are only making for high value rich people who can afford, and who can afford the maintenance and so on. And then they will get service also. The service would be, they would have a dedicated landline on which, when they call, the person is going to answer taking their name. So if I have bought a Rolls Royce and I have paid for that customer service, then whenever I have a problem, I'm going to call them, and they will receive my call by taking my name, because it is dedicated line. That number they have given to me. You call on this number. Yeah, this customer rep is going to listen to you. So of course they would give one customer rep couple of clients, but then any problem you just call them, and they will. And then their showroom is also, you will see, is not in every country. Why? Because they need to give a very top class customer service. So they need to build that infrastructure also, which where they will be able to give that type of service. And it is in many industries. It is in phones. There are phones which are extremely expensive, and they get dedicated line customer service, those type of things. So all that is linked with with strategy. Yes. So you need to think about these things. Yes, Lewis, please go ahead.
I was saying, sir, in relation to the idea of um, separating the VIP customers from the normal customers and how they feel, the important thing is there are organizations that are able to manage that and to make the normal customers, as you'd say, feel as important
Yes.
as the VIP customers,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
ensures that they don't feel some type of way. They just understand that there are levels to
Yes.
how persons are handled. And then you have
Yes.
some places like hotels that
Yes. Yes. Yes.
they do things like random upgrades to persons.
Yeah.
Like you're a normal customer, you paid for a normal room, but
Yeah.
you feel happy when you go there and then they just randomly say, hey, there's a deluxe room available. I'm going to
Yeah.
upgrade your service.
Yes.
And they put
Yes.
you in a
Very,
better room. And then you feel
very,
like, okay, you're VIP.
very interesting. Very interesting example. Thanks for bringing it in. And it happens in other industries also. Upgrade, like in airline also industry, they upgrade you sometimes. I have heard these stories, but personally speaking, I never got any type of upgrade. I can't remember. I would have to ask for it, and then I would have to maybe pay for it. But I have heard about same type of sentiments and read that companies and those type of places, they do these type of things which Lewis is explaining. But then again, I have not gone to stay in many hotels also. That also is the thing, and I have not traveled too much also. So uh, my data set is small. Yes, Lewis, you want to say something else? Please
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead.
I just remembered an experience like a few days
Yeah,
ago.
please. Yes,
There
that is what
is
people do.
there is a store where I get water, Blake's Water Store in Portmore, and I
Yeah,
often go there and refill my water. And they they changed the closing time to 6
yeah,
p.m. But I had to leave from work and go and get the refill. And
yeah,
I called the store and spoke with the receptionist and everything, and she said okay, she's going to close they're going to close at 6. But I said I'm on my way from a few minutes away, but I don't think I'll be there for 6. She
yes,
says okay, all right, make your way here and we'll see. So when I got there, and they were closed because I got there a
yes,
few minutes after
yes,
6.
yes,
But then one of the gentlemen stepped out and said, "Are you're the young lady that called, right?" And I said,
yes,
"Yes." And he said, "Okay, hand me the bottle and the money." And they did refill my bottle. And
yes.
someone came there after while they were refilling my water, and they said no, we can't refill it. They had a few more, but I only had one bottle, and they had
Yes,
probably like three big 5 gallon
yeah,
bottles. And they were
yeah.
like, no, the store's closed, you guys will have to come back. But then I felt like a VIP because they were actually filling my bottle.
Oh,
And all
yes,
I had
yes.
to do was
Beautiful.
stand there and wait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very nice, beautiful, lovely example. Very nice. I'm sure everyone enjoyed it. Lewis, is this a small place or is it a big place? I'm thinking it is a not very big place.
Well, it's not a very big place. Um,
Yeah,
but they do I think they're relatively new to Portmore
yeah,
as an
yeah,
as an organization.
yeah.
But they
Yes,
do
yes,
they do very wonderful service. Most of the guys are
yes,
usually friendly,
yes,
and the receptionists and everything are
yeah,
usually very jovial and very friendly when you go there. Or at least to me.
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what is that business? What is, if you want to share that so people
Oh,
can maybe
it's
when they
it's
are.
Blake's Water Store over by Sovereign in Portmore.
Oh, okay, 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 okay,
Yeah, they
beautiful.
do purified water and stuff there.
Okay. How the water taste? It tastes good? You feel
Yeah,
more
it's good
energy
water. I
after?
used to I used to buy I used to buy my water at Hilo, and then I
Okay.
changed. There was an incident with the water, and from then I decided not to buy there anymore. And I actually started using Blake's, and I've never had a complaint since.
High low is not very high in our discussions. They are being targeted again and again. Okay, very good, interesting examples. Thanks for sharing, Lewis. And challenge for this type of business can be that right now they are starting out, maybe they are new, they are trying to attract customers, something like that, in that area, Portmore, and they are also small, so these type of things, of course, relatively easier, not taking away anything from them. Of course, they are doing good service, and this is how a business should operate also. But as they will grow, then these challenges, it will be more difficult for them if they don't start looking at it like who are the customers which are more profitable to them, how they can give them different type of service, how they can. And again, Levis example was also feeling how she felt, again when with high-low whatever happened, how she felt, that made her change her mind. And with this company, why she was willing to share the example, it is how she felt. Lewis, you want to say something else also? Your hand is raised. If you want to, please go ahead.
No, sir, I did the raised hand before.
Okay, all right. Okay. You can put it down, otherwise you're gonna get tired. Yeah. So let's see what are the things they are mentioning here. The questions to ask are these type of questions you can ask in each type. Who will be responsible for enterprise relationship with each customer and so on. I don't need to spend time on them. These are just pointers for you, how you can, how will she use tools and technology to create better experience for her customers and so on. Uh, these are some things which you would want to think about. What is it like to be our customer, and what should it be like? This is a good question, where it will show you some type of gap, and closing that gap might be called customer experience management. How the customer felt, how their experience was. You look at the customer experience and say, what is it like to be our customer in the real world? When you are our customer, what is it like to be our customer? What is the experience like? And what should it be like your ambition for your business, your aspiration, what you want to achieve. They should, when they are with you, this is how they should feel. So the reality of what is happening and what you want them to feel, that the difference is customer experience management. And it's very easy to look at it from here, but to do it in the practical world, it's very difficult. Even like, look at this, there's a small cohort here, only 12 people sitting in the session. What is your customer? What is it like to be my customer? That is only and personally. And you might never tell me that what it is like, especially if your experience is not really good, and you might not want to maybe state it. You don't want to want to keep in your mind. In your heart you might have like some bad feeling and whatever, but you would not say that. I hope it is not the case, but just to explain the idea. And then on my side, I would have different stories in my head that, when you are in my session, you should feel this and you should feel that and should be excited about the topic and all of those things. Yeah. So to fill this gap, even to know this gap, I would have to really interact with you, not just collectively, but individually speaking. Try to understand what would you want to learn from a quality service management session. What is your knowledge already? What type of questions you would like to get answered in this type of in these type of sessions, and so on. So think about it. Am I doing that? No, I'm not doing that. If I want to do that, how I will be able to do that? Would you have time to engage with me? When will we engage with each other? Would you be honest in telling me what you really feel, or you will skip some things which you think you don't want to tell me? Uh, so many things will be involved in that, especially when you are looking at different individuals. There are only 12 right now sitting in the session, but it will require considerable amount of time and effort to really understand what each one of you really wants as a customer of this course. Although it's just 12, will be really hard. And you can imagine the time it will take and so on. And still at the end of the day, there is no guarantee that even if I do all those things, everyone will be equally satisfied, uh, because everyone is looking at the course in a very different, in a different way. Same goes for the product. The incentives which you are going to give to one customer for one service or product, you have to give some other incentives to other customers. So all this is not possible without creating a very strong, useful database. It's just not possible, especially as the business is going to grow. They are giving out some explanations and some very good examples of in these sections. The examples are very interesting. We gave examples which we could. You can read the examples in your own time and try to think about these. For example, these type of question: is it clear to everyone in the company what experience we want to deliver to our customer? Is it clear to everyone in the company? How clear it is? Like the example Lewis gave of collecting water, and she was late and she called. The owner maybe did not, is not going to take the call. It is some front desk person or whoever is there, they're going to take the call. So maybe it is owner gave this idea, or they maybe indirectly they created this culture in their organization, that when the customer, it's going to happen, it's different times, curfew is happening, people are working also, they have to reach home also before curfew, so sometime traffic, this and that. If they call you, how are you going to treat? So that the person who took the call, they also needed to go somewhere because curfew is for everyone. They also need to reach there. Maybe they can stay a little bit longer, but they also have their commitments, and they know that the shop is closed, but still they said, no, we will wait, you will, when you will come, we will ensure that you are served there. So what that shows, that shows that everyone in the company is clear what that company want to deliver to their customer, and for that they are okay. If they are a little bit late or something, they are okay with that. So not just the owner. What happens is the owner and the top leadership is many times very clear on what they want to deliver, but as it comes down and down and down and down, it somehow gets lost. Like if you, I think, I'm sure I mentioned it earlier also, like what is your experience with UV? So maybe you will say that it is not the best experience of your life, maybe. But if you, I can assure you that when you are with the top leadership and you are interacting with them and whatever you are doing, you know that they really want to serve you best, and they have no bad intention, and they are working hard. There are people who are working on strategies and should do this and that and what not. There are definitely people, and now this will surprise you maybe because you are having the challenges you are having. Those are the challenges which you are having, and you might think that then why this difference is there. The top leadership will have different vision for UV, but as you come down, then it's different service you are getting. Not everyone is as enthusiastic. You are getting problems which could easily be rectified. Different problems. I don't need to go through that. You know that you are not new to UV. You have been here, so you know what are the challenges and what not. So then if everyone is not on the board, then it's not going to work, because the top leader is not going to interact with every customer, especially as the company goes big. And this is the challenge. They can still try to meet with some customers, but because if the scale is big, then they won't be. The time is limited. So in those sense, the everyone has to be. That is why quality is a business of everyone. Quality belongs to everyone. Uh, if everyone is involved, only then quality can can improve. If it's just like the average score for this course, like what is the average score of this course? That is what I would like to look at the end of the semester. Now, if of course some people are going to maybe prepare harder. Other people are maybe okay with just a pass and so on. So that is going to impact the average, which I would like to look at the end of the course, because there might be some friends who will score very high, 70, 80, and so on. But then if there are many friends who are just getting 50 or something around that, then it is going to bring down the average. So everyone has to work hard if we want to improve the average uh, um, of the scores. Everyone is equally important if you look at it. But then everyone will not be as motivated as others are. Some are self motivated. They are going to, even if I don't do any lectures or anything, and I say okay, go and read the book and whatever, a person who is motivated is going to still read the book, and if any challenges, they can always email me and say okay, what can you guide us here, or can you give us, based on your reading, you can give us some extra reading or whatever. Yeah. But the person who is not motivated, it will be difficult for them to study on their own. So then, to improve the average of the course, what needs to be done is that find out who is motivated and who is not. That is the first basic step which needs to be taken. Who is motivated? Is Christopher motivated to read everything on their own? I think yes, he is motivated based on my previous interactions with him and so on. Uh, Maybe he has not read so many chapters yet, but I know that by the end of semester he is going to read complete book. That is my perception or understanding. For other person, I don't know who is. So that I need to know who is going to do the work and who is not motivated. Once I know that, only then I can use my resources and say, okay, this person is not motivated. Let me talk with the person. What is the problem? What is happening? How can I help? So on and so forth. So for that, I will have to know who is motivated and who is not. Same way for the company. The company, if they want to be successful, they need to know which customer is profitable and which customer is not. What is happening in all of those categories as we discussed. So all these questions are important. I just highlighted some of them, but all these are important. Please remember, I am not doing everything from the book. This is guided reading. You are reading everything. I'm just highlighting the things which stood out to me when I read the book. So different, maybe when you will read the book, these things which I have highlighted, they don't stand out to you, and that is perfectly fine. There's no problem in that. Everyone get excited by different ideas. Maybe you will highlight different things when you are reading. Um, so these highlights just does not mean that these are important topics or this is what you should focus on. This just means that when I was reading, this stood out to me more than other areas based on my disposition. That is all it means. And I thought based on that I should share what I think about these areas with you. That is what it means. So don't just look at the highlighted sections when you are reading and so on. What does our company do really well in terms of current customer experience? What does our company do really bad today in terms of our customer experience? What could the company just do better? Like for example, the example Lewis gave. um, she reached to the place, they gave her the water, but there were other clients who they did not give water. And I understand, as Lewis explained us, that maybe they had more bottles, maybe they had 3 bottles, and they let them go. uh, what do you think about that? Did the company do the right thing, or they could treat this situation in a different way? Please give some comments, and I would like to talk about this. What do you guys think? Yes, Melissa, please go ahead.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, but very low. You bring the mic close to your.
Uh, can you hear me now?
We can hear you, but it's just the quality will improve if you will bring it closer. But we can hear you.
All right, so I was thinking that maybe because she called before she went,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she pointed out her, well, whatever situation it was, or whatever time she was able to get there, she was
Yes.
clear in telling the receptionist to say that I don't think I'll be able to get there by 6 o'clock, but I
Yes.
need to have a refill and such. So maybe the other person, even though they had a lot more bottles, and that would be a little bit more money than Elise. They
Yes.
did not make a call, right? So
Yes.
right there. So maybe they're thinking about that as well.
Yeah. So if you were there, what would you have done?
If I was there, I think I would have done the same thing because the mere fact that she calls, she recognizes that the store closes at 6, and she respects
Okay.
person's time, as well as she's aware of the whole curfew hours and such. And if
Yes.
it is that those persons did not call, obviously don't respect my time. And as you were saying before, they need to get home by a certain time because of the curfew. So,
Yes.
the
Yes.
receptionist and the persons working in the store, okay, so she respects her time. She called before,
Yes.
she said yes, she needs water, but she's not able to get there. So I would have done the same thing.
Yes, very interesting. Very thank you, Melissa. But think about these type of things. For example, and anyone can contribute to this discussion because I want to spend a little bit time on this because this is what we will face in real world if we want to improve quality service. These type of situations will come. So this is very good example here. So now you guys know this that Lewis made the call. Uh, Lewis knows this. That company knows this. But those customers which came with the 3 bottles or whatever, do they know this or not? This is something very interesting to think about. Put yourself in the situation that maybe they could not call because they were rushing to the shop and eventually they are, what I'm trying to say that they were there when Lewis was there and they saw that Lewis got the service and they did not. If you were on you were those people, then what would you have felt? Or in other words, is there any other thing which that company could do? Any thoughts on that? Yes,
Well,
Lewis, please go ahead.
sir, they actually didn't know what the closing time was. I knew the
Yeah,
closing time because
yeah,
I go to the store frequently, so I know what the closing time is.
yeah,
And the persons didn't know what the closing time was, and they didn't quite know that I was getting served. Versus they would have, based on the setup and the fact
yeah.
that the store was closing and they were kind of cleaning up at the same time,
Okay,
they would
okay,
have thought I possibly was there before 6 and I was just
okay,
waiting outside to pick up because it wasn't
oh,
made clear that I came afterwards and was getting through.
okay, 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 okay. And what if those people who were filling the water, if they wanted, could they fill water for them, or this was the situation where they could not, if they wanted?
Well, if they wanted to, they could have, but
Okay.
what happens is with the traffic that usually comes to the store,
Yes,
they
yes,
tend
yes,
to not really go over the closing time because
yes,
persons
of
tend
course.
to come there in droves. So the moment
Yes,
they may open the door and let in those persons and refill those bottles, 2 or 3
yes,
more people might come, and then that would create a
yeah,
problem. So they really don't like to extend past the closing time.
yes, yes. And how many other people were there with bottle? Just one more person
Well,
with
just
3 bottles?
one more, but then
More
if
people
they
could come.
had
Yeah,
continued and served them, then
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a likely chance that another 1 or 2 people might have come, and then they
yeah,
would
yeah.
create a fuss because, but they just came and they're getting through and they have 3 bottles, so why you're not doing mine and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Very interesting. See, very beautiful discussion, and all credit goes to Lewis for bringing this beautiful example, so we could discuss this and see the practical, the problems with this test. So you read about quality service and all of those things. The real question is that when you are in this type of situation, how to deal with that, because the customer, it's very hard to please the customer in this type of situation, because the customer is going to feel that they could get the water. They don't see all these things which Lewis is explaining, and can be very challenging. Maybe one thing, it depends on so many factors, but I'm thinking that maybe one thing which could have been done, I would have looked into that if I were in charge of that place. That okay, if someone comes with 3 bottles, we are, and this is the situation, we will not fill 3 bottles, but we are going to fill 1 bottle. Maybe I give them something like, what I'm thinking is that if you are sending someone like that, like because all other places are now closed, and the person is not going to get uh, water from other places. They are not going to get from other places. So technically what they did is right. By law also, you should abide by the law. So if the government has said that closing time is this, all citizens need to abide by the law. That is why we were able to bring down the COVID rates in our country, because majority of the people are abiding by the law. If this is the, so we need to follow the laws and instructions and whatever those things. But what one thing, strictly from the lens of quality service, if it is possible, uh, maybe give something like 3 bottles, okay, 1 bottle, okay, so you have some water or something. But again, that is maybe it that depends on law and legal issues and
True,
those type of
true, sir. With in trying to be I guess to facilitate the fact that they came late and everything, they could have filled a bottle for them because they had a few. But the guy was actually one of the guys were actually trying to be, I guess, a bit helpful in advising, because he came outside and was talking to the person, and they weren't filling the bottles for them, but he was
yeah,
trying to ask the guy and letting them know, okay, so we're going to open at this time tomorrow. If
yeah,
you guys can
yes,
come back, we'll be open between this time and that time. So
yes,
just to give
very
them
good.
the idea so that they can know how soon they're able to come back the following
Yeah,
day to fill the bottles.
yes,
And that was
yes, yes.
information that they probably didn't have prior.
Yes. Very good, very good. Excellent points. And all of us have faced this type of situation, not exactly this, but because of curfew hours, we reach somewhere late, and then they let us in or they don't let us in. That makes some type of um, uh, disturbance in our life if they don't let us, although we know that it is curfew time, or but sometimes we do get late and we are, so I'm sure all of us have experienced something along this side, that we want to get some service but we reach a little bit late, and sometimes they will let us come in, sometimes they will not. It happened with me on Sovereign. My gas was very low, and I went to the gas station in Sovereign, next door to Sovereign, and it was just 1 or 2 minutes over, but they said that it's closed. Well, they did not say anything. No one came outside, and but across the road there is another gas station. So I went there. So one person was sitting there, and although they were already filling some car, and they had, that was supposed to be their last car, but the girl there, she asked me how much I want. I said, well, I would like to fill the tank, but at least give me some. So she she laughed and she said, don't worry, I will fill up your tank and stuff. So it was uh, more than the curfew time. So And other situation I have seen personally, I have experienced this. Some very difficult also. For example, I remember I was in Ochorius, and it was curfew time. Like the shop was, maybe it was 5 or 6, something like that. Whatever was the cutoff time. So I passed that and I parked my car outside the gas station, and by that time the curfew time was over. And then I came outside of the car and I locked my car, and it was um, uh, it was a battery, like your the key battery key. So when I locked myself out because the battery was uh, it was new battery, but for some reason it was not working, and now I needed battery. And I went to the and those people were looking at me from there, because it was like, it was curfew time, and they were looking at me. And of course I was trying to open, and I seemed a little bit worried also, although I don't get I like to laugh most of the time, but at that time I was kind of worried, like, this is now I'm not in my city, I'm outside, I can't, what will I do? It's a big problem for me. So, but just by my body language, as I came near, although it was closed and they were kind of not interested in letting people in, and they let me in, and the guy asked, what do I want? And I said, you have this battery. He said, we have this battery, and they changed for me. And I saw the same thing, because as they opened for me, other people were all also started coming in, although they were not supposed to come in. No, but he let those people out. He said, okay, what you want? Okay, no problem. And it was outside of curfew hours. So then it really helped me, because I was able to come back in my car. Otherwise, I don't know, it could be quite a trouble for me. And it was evening, so I would have to wait till next day. And even if I had to come back to Kingston, how I would come back? It's some wrecker I would need to get or something. It could be very intense. So what I'm saying, you as a shop owner, you need to really think about these type of things, like sending. But this is difficult situation, because everyone knows that this is curfew time, so everyone should abide by the law. But these things happen. I'm remembering one incident which I would like to share with you guys. I have never shared that in any class because I forgot it. But from this example, memory is quite interesting. Things come from your mind, which happened. And this is what happened. I was in UK for my masters, and we had a deadline for uh, all coursework would have a deadline. And we had a wonderful, that lecturer was wonderful, one of the best I ever got. If I have to rank my top 20 lecturers, because I had a lot of wonderful lectures in my life. It's not 5 or 6, it's a lot of people uh, uh, who are wonderful, and I learned a lot from them. And because I did multiple degrees also, so that also gave me exposure to more and more and more lecturers. Anyways, so this was one of my favorite lecturers, and great guy, wonderful. So, but he had um, I had submitted his, like, let's say his submission time was 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So I reached there before 1 p.m., just minutes before, and he was standing outside. And as I was walking, he waved to me, like he was, when you want to ask someone to come faster. So he waved at me, come fast. And I, of course, started walking fast, and I was able to reach before 1 p.m. And he was on the door of the office. Um, and he I went in and he said, "You just made it." And I did not really understood what he meant, because I said, even if I would have walked slower, I am there. He saw me. He would have taken taken my assignment. Just within few seconds, one of my closest friends, who I made there during my studies, he comes in and he knocks the door, and the lecturer is not opening it. And I'm looking at my lecturer, and he tell him time is over. Time is over. And I was like, seriously, like just few seconds and time is over. So I respect that. That is how it should be. Time is time. You have a deadline. You have a deadline, and the university has all the right, uh, across universities, in all universities, including ours. It says very clearly that the deadline, if the lecturer does not have to mark the assignments which come late, that's it. So it is on the discretion of the lecturer. If he does not, he say, I'm not going to mark, no one can make the person mark. He's going to say it's late submitted. So that is what he was doing. He said late submission. So he, and then I was like, maybe he's going to, take it. And so later down after the semester, when the results came, I asked the guy, and he said, well, I got zero. He did not mark it. Now he is a wonderful lecturer, one of the best I ever had in my life. Uh, Definitely top 20. Great guy. But this was his policy. Like, he was enforcing in us that what is the importance of time. Uh, you don't you don't understand that if you are facing that type of situation, and you would say that uh, but that gave a very clear signal in all the cohort. And then after that I started submitting early. Like, I was not waiting till the last moment, and I will, because anything can go wrong. So I'm talking about this in the context of the curfews in our country and across the globe because of COVID. That okay, curfew is curfew, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, uh, but the quality service would like to think about that. What is the situation? Is it something which is really necessity or something? If someone is there to buy, you can maybe ask them, what do you want? And if I say I want a Pepsi and chips, they say, well, run away, no Pepsi for you, time is over. But if I say that, my car, I can't enter in my car, I need the battery, and I'm locked out, it's a different situation. So you do the, or maybe water is also essential item. We don't know what was the situation in the example of Lewis, but she made comments on that, uh, which I think all of us are thinking on the same lines. uh, so looking at the situation, and maybe that is, but these are difficult questions, because what about if the law of the land is very strict? If the government is going to say that if any business did any type of and any type of business, then after curfew we're going to take action uh, on them. So then it is different, because these people have authority who patrol the roads after curfew. They have a lot of authority. They can do many things which regular police is not, maybe would not do. But in these circumstances, because they are looking at the situation, and uh, so these are very interesting questions and thoughts to think about it. And so from this discussion, you will make your own personality as a quality service manager, and then your personality would state many things, what you will uh, allow or what you would not allow. Uh, uh, like, I'm remembering so many examples which are so like strange. Like, I had one lecturer, he would say that All assignments should be submitted on A4 paper. A4 paper. And to be honest, I did not at that time. I did not knew what is A4 paper. What is A4 paper? Every paper is a paper, and he would say every A4 paper. I'm just going to accept assignment on A4 paper. And well, I printed some assignments and I gave it to him. He gave it back to me. He said it's not A4 paper. Okay, it's different people. So that is a service. Yeah. Like, are you looking at like, so what his ambition was he wanted his students to follow instructions. So maybe he was that type of person who believes that we should be able to read and follow instructions. And it's fine, that's fine. But as a student, sometimes we don't understand. I did not understand why A4 paper. Any paper is a paper. So many times this happen, like the business is doing what they are doing, but the customer don't understand. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that you can do what you want, but make customer a little bit understand also why you are doing what you are doing. They might still not understand, but make some effort, especially if they are your profitable customers. Then this need becomes more high. But for new businesses, they don't really know which one is going to be profitable and which one not, unless they invest in buying the data from other companies uh, about those customers. But we don't have that type of data available. I don't think so in our local market and economy. Very good pointers, very good. Excellent. Keep on thinking about those things. Some jargon is used in this chapter. If you don't understand any word, like C to C, I'm sure you understand this. Consumer to consumer, B to B, these type of things. If you don't understand, you can run some Google searches or not. Some nice stories are there in this highlighted section. Always there is some type of stories, uh, so you should maybe think about that. Unfortunately, CEOs and board members fly first class, have personal or relationship bankers, get quit faster, and rarely set foot in a branch or pay their own bills. Like the CEOs, board members, decision makers in a company, they are making good money. They are a different life they are living. They don't know the lifestyle of a ordinary consumer and the challenges of that. And because they have become disconnected with that, with what their own customers experience, they will have to listen even harder. It's a very good statement. Because of sometimes this happen as you go, as you become more wealthy, or you become your job titles change and your lifestyle change. Sometimes people forget like how the experience of a regular customer is. Because if people know you, and they are of course going to deal you very differently, so then you have to listen even harder to your customers, like what is their experience of a regular customer who is not even uh, who does not fall under the category of profitable customer, and so on. In small businesses, an owner who runs a restaurant or cafe does not need to conduct research into what his customers like or dislike. He hears it directly from customers. If customers are asking for cake or health food or gluten free products or soy milk, the restaurant owner can respond quickly or quickly be out of business, because it is small, no people. One-on-one interaction and so on. It is too hard that many companies have forgotten how to listen in this way. This is the problem. Especially as you become more and more successful, then it becomes harder to listen to other point of uh, point of views. That is why I personally believe that that childlike approach is important in life. Like, you know what you know, yes, but should always be open to learning from other people, because everyone's experience is different, and you can always learn from their experience and so on. So interesting pointers. And then they give examples, lot of examples, as you have been reading the book, so you know that they do like to give example. Compare this with when you call. Okay, let's look at this. United Airlines developed a mobile app designed around the stress points of travel day. Like, when the people are traveling, what are the stressful things they have to do? So looking at those stress points, they developed a mobile app. Flight updates, rebookings, food options, and self check in were all set up to give customers a sense of control when they most need reassurance. In mid 2020, 1.5 million passengers had downloaded the app in mid 2012. 1.5 million. Yeah. What are the stress points? They find the stress points like updates, rebookings, food options, and then put that in the mobile app. And in 2012, 1.5 million passengers downloaded that app. How did they find out what are the stress points? From the data of different complaints and what are the things maybe more important for a regular uh, customer. 9 months later, only 9 months, usage level reached 6 million. So from 1.5 to 6 million. And by June 2014, users totaled 10 million. Yeah. It's obvious that this is self-service that has been of value to customer. Self-service, but valuable to the customer. But as significantly, the app also led to major cost saving to the company, as staffing at United counters fell by half. So if they had 100 customer rep, they will be, now they would have 50, because a lot of things are done by using the app. It's a very interesting example. Is good customer service in the eye of the beholder? I will discuss it later. I want to give you some example. Like, look at this example of, customer service, and then we are familiar that we call to some place and it gives us automated system, like, dial 1 for this, dial 2 for this, dial 3 for this. And when you dial 3, then they give you other option, dial 1 for this, dial 2 for this, dial 3 for this, and all of that. You know that, yeah? Many companies are using them. And then once you reach where you want to reach, then there is a long hold. So it's regular, like, by the time you reach to the person you want to talk to you, if you are lucky, it is like 20, 25, 15 minutes. Easily that time is gone. And so that is also customer service. They are trying to automate the system. Just like in this app is trying to automate the system. But this app is doing the things which are valuable to the customer. But when you are looking at these automated system, are they really there to add value in our life, or they are creating more problems for us? Uh, this is, I'm sure you have made calls different places where automated system was dial 1 for this, dial 2 for this, and then again all that cycle. So those type of automated system are definitely decreasing the operating cost for the business. And as you know, operating cost go down, profit will eventually, it will have impact on profit, so profit will go up. But is it useful for the customer or not? Is it is it a good substitute of speaking with someone directly who listen to our complaint and then direct us quickly to the person who can solve them? but this strategy is not profitable for the company. So automation again is not always, we always say that automate the process and it will do things faster, cheaper, quickly, you solve the problem. But automation does not always lead to efficiency, especially from the side of customer. And now can you imagine that there is some profitable, because we are, the chapters are about profitable customers, uh, building customer value of profitable customers. So can you imagine that you have a profitable customer and they are on hold, and from one place to another they have to go? Will be very, they will stay with you as long as they don't have some other option which is good enough. But as the options come, they are going to go somewhere else. Um, um, is good customer service in the eyes of the beholder? Some criteria an enterprise could consider from the customer perspective include convenience, ease of doing business, so on. You can look into these things. Not all of these elements are equally important to all customers. That is why it is very important to differentiate customers. Yeah, we have made that point many times in the semester. But anyways, any one of these criteria could be a deal breaker to one customer and of no consequence to another. When I go to, especially in the early days, when in the early days, just few months ago, not many years now, when Jamaica is saying that we need to cut the use of plastic bags and paper bags were. Now they are more in use, but when this thing started a year or 2 years ago, something like that, maybe not that much long ago. So in the early days when I would go to a shop to buy, I would just buy, candies and these type of junk food and sodas and stuff like that. And before, they would just put everything in the plastic bag and everything, and then now they were later on, because of the change, they want to put in the in the paper in the paper in the paper bag, and then they would charge for that. So although it is just $10, but I don't know why that would really, I would not really like it, would not want to pay that $10. It is just $10. It's like, but I don't know why I never liked uh, that idea, that why should I pay for that? I bought the goods from you, you should. And especially because we were used to not pay for the bags, and then I remember that at that time I would, if I'm going to some place, and of course I'm going there regularly from before, and they would not give me the bag. I would go to, I would not go there again and start going to other places. And then I went to different places in a short period of time, and then I found a couple of shops which don't charge for bags. So they would not ask for, um, they would just put the things in the bag, appropriate size, and you are gone. No extra payment for that. So that, and then I started going there, and then I kept on going there, and then eventually again, the eventually everyone is going to start charging. So then they also, at some stage, they also started charging, and then I did not really feel bad, because yes, everyone has to uh, has to um, like, they cannot take, but because it was a change for me also, uh, it was a change. So first I was used to getting in the plastic bag, but then suddenly those shops where I was their frequent customer for many years, and then suddenly they just start charging me those $10. and even when I would say, they would not do something about that, uh, because they did not. They were creating all customers equal, like all the customers would be paying $10. And I remember I bought different, different chocolates and ice cream and whatever, and the bill was like 5-6 thousand, something like that, just on junk food, and 4 or 5 items. They are costly items. Oh, and it's a small bag. And I was in my mind, I was thinking that they should see that what did this person bought. He is spending things, money on non-essential items which are not necessary. And should I like charge him for 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 a little bag here when he has spent this much? It's not that he bought like $500 things. And okay, if you don't give back, I totally understand. Even now, if I buy very less amount and they are even giving me back, I don't take it. I say I'm holding it in my hand. No worries about that. Many shops still don't really charge, especially if you go out of Kingston. I've seen that there are many places which, if you stop couple of places, some are charging, some don't. It's not that everyone is charging throughout the island. That is my understanding. So you have to see which one you can. Although this is very small thing, but I remember that for next 4 or 5 months, I did not go to that place, and then eventually I started going back again, because uh, uh, it's not that big of the deal. But in that time, those sales which they could get from me, they might be very small, but their competition got those sales. Uh, um, um, so for a business, they really need to think about these things. And it is very sad that the top leadership many times would know these things, but the people who interact with the customer consumer, they don't understand what needs to be done, or they do something which makes the customer upset, and then the customer start disliking the institution instead of understanding that it is just this person is not this person is not right. And University of West Indies, I would say, is a very good example for this, based on my experience here. A top leadership is on different line and length, and then as you go down, even lecturers, different lecturers are on different line and length. And you would know this very well, because you have taken courses from different people, and you deal with even administrative issues, and different schools on the campus, they have different line and length. So, and that is the same thing with any business. uh, with any business, you can think about. I am sure that if the owner was sitting on the place, and he would have seen me many times, when I asked that I don't want to pay for the bag, but I would like to have it, he would have definitely given me the bag. I have no doubt about that. No doubt. Bag is not a problem. And that happened with me later on. uh, one evening, just before the after I started going back to that same shop, one evening, I just managed to reach just before curfew, and not many people were there, even their staff was gone. So just by chance, I went to uh, the owner was there, who was cashing the people, because the cashiers were gone home. Only one more cashier was there. So the owner was there, and I know the owner from before, like just by face. We don't know each other. We just I have seen him before. Uh, and I know his name and stuff, because he's a businessman and whatnot, and he would not definitely know me. So uh, I remember that he he put my things in one bag, plastic bag, paper bag, and that size was fine for the things I bought. And I asked him, can I get a bigger bag? So before I could even complete my sentence, he had already reached for the bigger bag, which was really big for for those things. And he put the things in that bag, and he was just smiling, and he had no problem with that. Why? Because he's the owner. So he is looking at things very differently, and the staff, junior staff, he is looking at. So many times in these type of situations, especially dealing with the service, what I have learned from my experience is that you need to find who to talk to, the right person, because maybe the thing can be done if you speak with the right person in the organization. And this is something which you will learn if you do some type of course or some workshops, or read some books in negotiation, like finding the right person to speak with. That is as important as anything else in the game. Adding or upgrading customer service uniformly for everyone is an expensive way to raise the bar. Uh, can't do it for everyone. Better to know what is important to an individual customer, and then to make sure that customer gets the services most important to him. What is most important to different customers? Very important. What is important for Kimberly is not important for Misha. What is important for Kim is not important for Monique. Everyone is different. They might be going in the same hotel, they might be staying in the same, might be eating in the same restaurant, but different people, different. So now you would also think that how much work is required if you really want to give quality service. How much work is required? A lot of work is required, and that is why many companies are unable to give. Yeah, this is what I was talking about: lifetime value, LTV. Yeah, these type of things you might want to think about. Very interesting examples they are giving in this section. I remember the cycle example, Zane cycle. Very interesting example. You should read all of this very carefully. Um, very interesting example. Yeah, and he became very rich also from the business. And what is the importance of understanding the customer in that lens? Very interesting examples are there. So I hope you will enjoy this chapter. Very nice chapter to help you understand the importance of distinguishing profitable customers. How you should, what are the main things you should think about in when you are making the strategy to deal with these type of customers. Uh, do think of, if you have already done some course like strategy, business strategy, if you have already taken, then whatever you learned, the good practices of strategy, you should bring those or think about those when you will be reading this chapter. Various techniques they are giving, what you could easy to read, not hard to understand, just that some jargon is used, and at the end of every chapter they are also using some type of glossary, so you can revisit that. But what the way I do it, I have these concepts which are presented, I would run Google searches on them, and listen to some talks. That is how I developed my understanding of the overall concepts. Um so reading maybe 2 3 books on the topic. Over of course I did it over a period of time. You don't have that much time, so what you should do is you should read the book, and then you should run searches on interesting pointers which are interesting to you, and maybe listen to some type of talk in that. I think these are the major things which I would like to discuss for this chapter. But once converted from prospects to customers, the company had no customer experience management, and this is very big challenge. So you would have customers, and you would be converting them from prospects to customers, and you would be trying to do things like bring them in your business by doing different things like decreasing the cost, like some type of incentives. Thursdays, females can come free without paying in the club, for example. Females free night, men will have to pay. So of course more men are going to go in that club that night because the girls are there and they did not have to pay. So a lot of girls are going to come that night. So but once they come in, how to keep them engaged, that company, how the company should keep those customers engaged, that sometime that thing is missing in different situations. So they would do all the things to bring the customer in. They would advertise, like to bring you to the weekend school, the university advertised, and all those type of things they did. But then once you are in and you are enrolled, and now then what are the things being done to keep you interested in different courses and keep you motivated, and maybe those things are missing. So uh, that point I really liked, that you you convert from prospects to customers, but once you have those customers, then you don't take them lightly, or say, okay, they are my customers now. um, every visit, every time they visit you, they should feel something. Give them something new every time they new in the sense that uh, uh, not new in the sense of something new in the sense that they're they're they feel better than the last time, because new would be, I think, wrong, because it's service we are talking about. So people are coming to get the service, and with service you have to be consistent also. So I'm thinking consistency in that. New is maybe not the right word, but they should get improvement, of course. uh, Better service, you can say, better service, and then consistency, uh, maybe. So many times we just say, okay, become our customer, and then not working to gain more sales, for example. So to gain more sales, you would have to spend time with the customer, and that we are not doing it. So especially in an environment where there is a lot of competition, this thing becomes very important. Some diagrams they have made throughout the chapter. You might want to. These are very interesting examples. They have given um, case studies and stuff like that. So it's. I'm sure you like this layout of the book. Like they are not just. It's not just theory. Every now and then they are giving some type of example, and that can help you understand a little bit better. uh, and this is the glossary section I was talking about. At the end of every chapter they have these type of things like business process engineering. If you don't understand it, you would want to run some Google search on it, listen to some talk on YouTube, and how that helps in improving quality service management. These are some things which you should, like what is a capability manager, what is the meaning of customer centricity. Yeah. So customer is the center of the organization. Any action you are taking, you are thinking that the customer is the center of your world, not selling your product, not selling your services, not making money. Is the center is customer. Other words can be product centric, sales centric, profit centric. Although these are not really real words, but you can use them for your understanding. I will continue with the next chapter also in the same recording, because so I'm not stopping the recording, which I usually do when I complete one chapter, but because it is the same, it is the continuation, part two of organizing and managing profitable customer strategy. Yeah, so for example, transition from traditional business to customer centricity. You want to ensure that the customer is in the center. Customer well-being is in the center, not the traditional business. So reflect on the examples which we gave earlier. Like I gave you example of going to a shop to buy clothes, and the person asked me what would I like to drink, and I said Pepsi, and they brought the Pepsi, right? So what are they trying to do? It's customer centric. Of course they want to do the sales, but at that point in time the customer is in the center. It was hot outside, I came in. So in that context, the customer rep thought that they should ask me what should I drink or what not. Uh, uh, in many different cultures, I have not seen it so much happening in our culture in Jamaica. Correct me if I'm wrong. There might be some instances here and there now, but it is not something which is the norm or the culture of some 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 city or some parish or something like that. I have not experienced that. Yes, sometimes you do meet some people who are very very nice to you, and they are exceptional, but this is not that type of culture is not our norm, the way we have been socialized in Jamaica. Uh, but customer, so you would have to think customer centricity, traditional businesses. We have made examples very quickly. We will be going through this chapter. The human mind treats a new idea the way the body treats a strange protein. It rejects it. Yeah, so you really need to understand that. So we have done management of change course together. Yeah, whole semester. Many of you have done that with me. Um, and I've read multiple books on that, and I enjoy that course, and I've even given some talks on managing change and so on in outside of university and so on. But think about this: when I felt the change myself, a simple change worth $10, from plastic bag to buying bag, in the early days, of course, I reacted to that. It's just $10, but it's the change. It's not. It is the nature of change which made me react. Although I understood that at that time, still, I said I am going to find a place which is not going to make me change, which is going to give me a paper bag without charging, and I did find it, and I kept on taking bags from them. Uh, and it was more fun for me to go there afterwards. I remember, because I would just feel good that okay, at least I will get free bag from them. So that is the nature of mind. The human mind treats a new idea the way the body treats a strange protein. It rejects it. So when you will be giving interesting ideas to improve quality improve services and bring quality service, if it is not the norm, the people are generally speaking going to reject it. uh, Not because they don't like your idea, they did not get a chance to reach at that level where they will be saying that we like it or not. It is just because it is new, a new idea, you reject it. Uh, uh, that is why also I mentioned a while when I by mistake I said new service, and then I corrected myself that not necessarily new in the sense of new, it is just improved, better, because if a new thing is given, then it's a possibility people can reject it. So this is very important for us to understand, because when new ideas, new way of doing things come to us, we should be mindful of this highlighted line, and should not just dash away the whatever the person is saying. Should maybe reflect a little bit, and over a period of time think about that would be important in all aspects of understanding customers. The majority of customer strategy failures did not crash and burn because of software integration problems or inadequate employee software training. So it is not majority of the customer strategy failures, not because of technology failure. Most customer efforts fail because the company never learns to manage the enterprise in light of new company capabilities, or to align those resources, priorities, and capabilities with customer relationship management. So this is the major reason most customer efforts fail, because the company never learns to manage the enterprise in light of new company capabilities, or to align those resources, priorities, and capabilities with customer relationship management. And again, customer relationship management would be dependent on a lot of data. And the data is not something which you made once and then you can forget about that. It is something which you will have to continuously improve, because customer preference is going to change. Many times customer buying power is going to change. They might have a job now, they don't have that type of job, their salary is gone down, or their salary has increased, so they have a lot of what you call that disposable income on their hand. So those things which you study in economics class, income levels and disposable income and all of those things, based on that CRM is going to change. You will have to make changes in that. So it's a very dynamic process. It is not something which you can just make once and then you don't have to upgrade it. Very important to keep on upgrading it. Very important to keep open your interaction with the customer to learn more and more about them. The biggest hurdles to successful customer management have little to do with technology. The greatest obstacles are a firm's traditional organization, culture, processes, metrics, and methods of compensation. And when you will read the chapters on the top, the examples I skipped, you will see that these are the things they are talking about. They are talking about traditional organization, status quo type of organization, culture which does not promote maybe quality. Quality principles are not being promoted there. Maybe that is the case. Uh, Processes, metrics, yeah, different metrics to measure different things. Methods of compensation is, I think, very important. Method of compensation, and I hope I have highlighted some things on methods of compensation. in the chapter, because it's the sales people who are the front office people. I'm thinking why they should really try to do well with profitable customers. There has to be some incentive for them to see which customer is more profitable. And like that example which Lewis gave, like it's a very interesting example. Those people who came with Lewis or a little late to the water shop, and they had 2 3 bottles, and the person could fill them. Yes, they could, but would the company recognize his efforts, that even beyond the time he he or she filled the need of the customer, fulfilled the need of the customer? What is the compensation for that person, outside of, prayers and good wishes and a good smile, if that is what the person is looking for? But outside of that, what is the incentive for them? What is the incentive for them? uh, there has to be some personal incentive for the person to do anything. If you take out the incentive or compensation method, then most of the people are not going to try very hard, because most of the people are not very motivated to do the jobs they are in. It's a simple thing. Um, just like one friend mentioned in the early part of the course, and we are almost concluding today, she said very casually, maybe the person did not want to be there. Yeah, just don't want to be there. Most of the people are like that. They don't want to be wherever they are. Do you, like, you can ask yourself this question: do you want to be, like, wherever you work? Do you really want to work there? What is your reason or whatever? Yeah. Do you? So you will find many times that for most of the people, maybe not you guys, but if you will look outside, most of the people are just doing the job for the sake of job. So in that context, when that is the reality of the workforce, then why uh, a customer rep, sales rep is going to go beyond the call? Why they would, even if they find out that, even if they know that outside is hot, and they can ask for a glass of water or something, why would they ask? Many times you go in the shops, people are busy on their phones nowadays. They are on the phones, like even security people, they are on phones. This is such a strange idea, which society has just like, embraced it. Like, we don't see anything wrong, like, if anyone is on the phone. No, why you are on the phone? You are a security person, your job is to secure the place. This is your work time. How you can look at the phone? What is going on there? You can't look at the phone. Like, what is that? Unless there is some emergency or something like that, or you are expecting someone's call or something like that. Those are some outliers. But continuously, you can go anywhere, go halfway tree, go to different shops, and see what are the security people doing. Their job is to look for security issues, and that is what they are hired for. See, go inside. Salespeople, what are they doing? They know that the customer needs some help, but they are chit chatting here and there, and it's a common thing, very common. Unless the boss is there, if they are like, if they are well mannered, then boss is there or the manager is strict. Something is there. Otherwise, and nothing is wrong in having a casual work environment. I like casual work environment. I like that, like a little casual, but not on the expense of service quality. So why those things happen? Why, uh, like link selling, um, the, And I did have a conversation about this with one of the workers in one of the stores, uh, cloth, shirts, and these type of thing, these type of stores. So I asked her that, do you get some type of, you are being very active, and you showed me a lot of shirts and this and that, and so do you get some type of commission? And she told me that yes, from the sales, when you will go there and register will open, and your things will be like untagged and put in the system there, my name will also go in there. So there is some type of incentive for me that I did these type of sales. Yeah. So then I learned that, okay, yes, that is why maybe she was taking a more interest than usual places I go to. So linking this type of uh, sales, and then now you have to think about different mechanisms. I think, like for example, like when you go to a restaurant to eat, and you are there for the first time, the tip you give, should that tip go to the restaurant, or the tip should go to the service person, or where should it go? So there are different ways to look at it. One way, which I read about in this book, I think maybe this book or the other book I read, one of these books, I read it somewhere, I don't know where, but I read it somewhere, that one technique can be that the first time when the customer, if it is a first time customer, then the service should not go to the service person. The tip should not go to the service person. And uh, although I disagree with that earlier, but their rationale was very good. So the rationale they gave kind of made me think, but I have not made up my mind yet. I'm still thinking on that. I will have to think about it. Like the rationale was that customer is new, first time in the restaurant, so don't the tip he gives does not go to the server, it goes to the company, to the restaurant. But if he comes again, he's a repeat customer, then it means that service was satisfactory and the food was good. So a portion of the tip goes to the server and portion goes to the kitchen staff. And then if the customer comes again, then more portion goes to these type of people. That type of incentive, something like that. So that I found, I've not made up my mind. I'm not saying do it like this or not taking any sides, because there are many people who work in service industry and I know them personally. And one of the person I was interacting with them, and they were saying, well, if it is service charge, it should come to the service person, because they were service person and they were very sensitive about this topic. So I don't know how. Yes, Lewis, please go ahead.
Sir, I think if it's a tip or a service charge, I think it should go to whoever is the server and whoever
Yeah,
was serving the table, because what happens if it, when you go to a restaurant is the place might be nice and everything, but then if the service is crappy, then and the person serving you is terrible, then you don't enjoy it no matter how nice that place is or no matter
yeah,
how food that place is, because you will
yeah,
always remember the terrible service. But if you
yeah,
went to a place and then your server was nice and the food
yeah,
was crappy and the restaurant wasn't all that, you will remember that, okay, the place was
yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
but at least there was that nice server. And it
yeah,
will
yeah,
make you maybe go back because you will say, all right, the server was nice,
yes,
so
yes,
maybe
yes,
next time the food will taste a little better. But
yes,
you won't
yes.
go back if the food was nice, but then the service was terrible, because the service being bad would trump the fact that the food was nice.
Yes, yeah, well, interesting point to think about. So different companies have different strategies, and so yes, people are. What Lewis is saying is nothing is wrong with what she's saying. Is server, if you tip them, it should go to them. Uh, but what happens? I'm just adding to what she's saying is that uh, sometimes it comes built in, like it's not a tip which you are giving. It comes in like built in type of mechanism that when they bill you, they also bill you for tip like 5%, 10%, whatever it is. They just charge you, and it is not some money which you are giving from free will. Uh, so when you are giving money from free will, of course, what Lewis is saying is correct. I would agree with that. Uh, I don't know what is correct or not, but I would agree with what Lewis is saying. But on the other hand, if it is a built-in mechanism where you just are charged the service charges, just like the taxes, they just take out taxes from our salary. We don't give taxes. So this statement is wrong that we give taxes. We don't give taxes. They take taxes from our salaries and stuff like that. So it makes the change. Like if we are giving tips, then it is different. But if they take out tip from our credit card or however we are going to pay, it is going to be different. So you can think about these things. When you will read the chapter, the examples will be more clear. Maybe I did not mention it as clearly as it I should have. The trusted advisor, uh, trust-based selling, these type of books, I think you should read. A comprehensive toolkit for leading with trust. Needless to say how important trust factor is in you know uh, and we could just decide to take a book, a good book on trust, some book like these ones, and just discuss that book throughout the semester and see how to build trust in customers, how to build trust in your company, and so on. And that would also serve the purpose of of the of the of the course. But because we have some like recommended readings and course outline and stuff like that, so in that regard we decided to discuss these chapters in the book. But you should read nice interesting books, or listen to audio recording, audio book. If you can't read, well, you can read. If you don't have, if it is difficult for you to read and it is easier for you to listen, you should listen to these type of books on trust. So I would really say that read some material. If book is a lot, then maybe read some articles on trust and so on. Retention commission, and this is, I think, same type of thing which I was trying to explain a little bit. For example, instead of paying a 1,000 commission just for landing a customer, the company pays 600 for a new account and 400 per year for every year the customer continues to do business with the enterprise. So whatever commission is given in the first instance, don't give all of that in the first go. Give them a little bit there, and then if they continue performing well, then you can increase that distribution. So this is, they are calling it retention commission. So it's the customer ability, your ability to retain the customer. And this is the same example I was trying to give a while ago with the using restaurants, but they are not using restaurants. They are using some other example. And they are discussing it in different areas. For example, finance, research and development, different areas, in IT, information service, different areas they are discussing it. MIS Quarterly, this is a very nice journal. I should have mentioned in the earlier chapters, because I saw that they referenced from MIC Quarterly, but here it is, very one of the very nice journals out there. So do run a search on it. Try to see what you can read from that journal. Yeah, very good. So human resource, I wanted to talk a little bit about. It is good that some things I have highlighted here. The customer strategy enterprise requires knowledge workers. Knowledge workers. Read about knowledge workers. Which workers are called knowledge workers? People who will recognize and act on relevant customer information, as well as people who will make or break rules as needed. It's very interesting to think about, because generally we say that we should stick with the rules and stuff like that, but no. In quality service management, you should stick with the rules, yes, but sometimes the situation requires you to do something else. So you do that. Uh, Very important to satisfy your client. You need smart people working in a strong culture who do exactly what you would have done, as they respond to real-time tweets or real-time complaints or real-time calls, whatever it is. So what they are trying to say is that not everything can be documented. It's not possible to document everything, and it's not possible to think about all different type of situations and then tell your customer reps that if this happens, do this, if this happens, do this, if this happens, do this. Then the SOPs are going to be extremely, long and tedious, and no one will be reading them. Well, already many people don't read SOPs, but then the number of percentage is also going to even decline more. So in that context, you need smart people working in a strong culture who do exactly what you would have done. So if you are a boss, manager, whatever you would have done, various examples I gave you example of simple example like paper bag, and I gave you complex examples like University of the West Indies, leadership of UV, what you would have done as they respond to real-time tweets, because technology is there, customer is going to speak with customer rep, uh, make some complaint, I need this, I need that, whatever. So need to quick quick movement. So that is very important for, because customer don't understand that, or don't care that, oh, this will happen, then this will happen, then this will happen, then this will happen. Customer is not customer business. As a customer, all the things which we said in this semester, we don't care about those things. All the things we said, they are from the lens of giving quality service, not receiving quality service. So when you are receiving quality service, you don't care about anything which is in the book. You need your thing. You need food. Food should be warm. That's it. Should come on time. Should not delay. Even if it is rain outside, it should be dry. You don't care it rain or it don't rain or whatever happen. You paid for the service, you need full advantage. So this is the mentality of a regular customer. I'm not talking about you and me. The regular world customer don't think what challenges the company is going to, you know, not customer business. You, it's your you are the business, you are charging us, you deliver on us this thing. So all these things which we are saying is not from the side of customer, they are side of providing the customer quality service. That is why you need to think about all these things. Customer don't need to think about these things. Customer will come to you if you give them a good service, quality service, they enjoy it, they think it is worth it, they will come again. If they don't think that and they don't have any uh, compulsion to come to you, they will go somewhere else. If that place don't fulfill them, they will go somewhere else. So customer is different. Customer can, so in that uh, using that lens, it becomes very important that you have a very smart representation of your company. Uh, And then again, we will go back to the same type of discussion which we have done in the previous recordings. So we should always remember the fact that as far as an enterprise customers are concerned, the ordinary low-level customer contact employee they meet at the store, talk to on the phone, or interact with during a service transaction of any kind, that employee is the company. Yeah? So whoever you interact with at UV and they don't give you proper service, then you are not going to say that that person is not good service. You will say UV is is not good. When Digicel don't give you the service which you want, you are not going to say, oh, that person who gives service, that is not good. You are going to say, Digicel is not good, which is not true. Digicel is good, just like UV is good. But the people you interact with in Digicel or UV or wherever, whatever example, we are not, or Hilo, let's talk about Hilo. Yeah, Hilo is not bad. Hilo is okay. The people who run Hilo, the owners, they are okay. They are fine. Burger King, where I did not get the extra napkin and I created a lot of fuss in one of the sessions. Nothing is wrong with Burger King. The owners of Burger King, they are a very well established businessman is has the uh, franchise of Burger King, politically connected with PNP also. They are wonderful. Nothing is wrong with the franchise owners, but it is just that. But I did not say that was that person. I said, well, Burger King, this happened. Yeah, high low, this happened. UV, this thing happened. Digicel, and so on. Yeah, so because that employee is the company. That employee is the company. So the quality service manager, you need to see how good that employee is, very important. And corporate culture is the most potent tool available for ensuring that everyone at the enterprise is pulling in the same direction. Yeah, same things which we discussed earlier, like everyone, quality belongs to everyone, everyone understands what we are trying to do, everyone is on board. uh, but then everyone will not be on board if workers feel in your company that they are not treated well, if they feel that the boss is not, has no empathy for them, uh, if they feel that they are paid less and the company is making them work and work and work and no rest, those type of things, then the worker is going to, the customer will experience it somewhere. So a company, this is what I am trying to say, a company which is customer centric, and that is the discussion topic for this chapter, the movement from traditional to uh, uh, traditional to traditional practices to customer centric practices. They will have to, you have to, you don't have any option. You have to become employee centric. People who work, first they need to be happy with what is happening as much as possible. If they are not happy, let them go. Take out the unhappy staff from within. Now, you can't make everyone happy. People who are not happy, who are not motivated for the job, they are not leaving because they need salary, but they are unhappy. First, try to make them happy. If you cannot, let them go, because they will, you don't want those people to meet your customers and make your you need happy people who are happy in the work what they are doing. Just have, and happiness, happiness does not come from just money. So it's not that you will be paid high and you will be happy worker. No, you might think that that will happen, but after few months, it is not the salary you are thinking all the time. It is other factors which you are thinking. So need to think what. So then the discussion will go to culture, organizational culture. They are talking about corporate culture is the most potent tool available for. So see all these different things which you study in different courses, culture, leadership, they are coming together if you want to improve quality service. And all these things are very easy to say and discuss and talk about, nothing hard in discussing, but the challenge is to implement that. And one way to implement, to fight with that challenge or get rid of that challenge is uh, look at these type of lists, the 100 best companies to work for. Yeah, just run a Google search. 100 best companies for working mothers, uh, top best 100 best companies with best culture, 100 companies with best culture. uh, Run searches on them, and these are the lists which you will see, and then you will find out some companies which are being repeated in again and again in various rankings and stuff like that. So then you read about them, spend some time on them, listen to their CEOs interview, look at their processes, procedures. YouTube is a very good tool for us. We can watch so many things on YouTube. So look into that, what are they doing in their processes, which gives them better, uh, which gives their customers better experience of better services, better service experience, quality service. What are the things? So this is a good start to start looking at them. So I hope that you will look into some of the lists, and don't just stick with what is mentioned in the chapter, but try to do your own research and try to learn as much as you can on these topics. And lastly, I think one thing which would be very good to do is, we all the time we are. Yes, I was saying that it's possible that we are at some place and we see that customer service is not very good there. Maybe it is good to you, but maybe it is not very good to other people. So observe that what is happening, why, what are the things they can do differently. I think just by observing, and ask yourself the question always that if you are there, what would you do? What would you do differently? Just like the example Lewis gave, I asked you guys, what would you do differently if you were there? What would you do differently? And I told you, if I were there, if it was possible, I would just fill one of their bottles so they have a little water to take care to take it. I would not. I would not fill all three. Maybe just fill one and give them some water. So just like that, when you are seeing some service which is not directly impacting you, you are seeing it in the wider society, just ask yourself, maybe is there any way to deal with this situation a little bit differently so that the customer also leaves with a positive note and so on. And if with that, I think you will learn a lot. But it's a very simple topic, as you would have realized in the discussions. No, nothing is hard. It's not a hard topic, quality service management, but very hard to implement. And for that, you would have to utilize different tools, techniques, uh, which we kind of try to discuss through various examples. And the book is also there. The techniques they have given you there, you would have to practice them in your own time and space and see what works. And also remember that it is something, quality service management is something like you have to perform every time, because you can develop your quality service to a certain extent, and then you make some mistake, and then although people are understanding, but people are also, generally speaking, also very also not very forgiving, especially when they are paying for a product or service. so, so you need to perform every time. Every time you have to perform, and that should not make you think negatively about the customer, that why the customer is not forgiving. It is just the nature of transaction. The customer is there out in the market to buy a product or service, and is not looking for free. If it is a free service, then everything changes. But if the person is paying, then is paying to get certain benefits, or something is in his or her mind, so you have to give it to them. So it's a continuous uh, journey where you would have to continuously improve, because you are also raising the bar of the customer. uh, and that can be very tricky also, because like the example Lewis gave. I don't see her in the room, but now see what happened in that example. What happened is that she was late to come to the shop to get water, and she called, and they said okay, and when she came, she got the water. She was not supposed to get that water, just like those other people who did not, but she did, for the reasons which she explained very clearly. But the point here is that that business has raised the bar of their customer service for Lewis. What that business has done is that indirectly it has indicated to Lewis that next time if you are late, you can call, and we are going to do this for you. This is what they have done indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly. This thing has been done. This cannot be changed now. Now, next time when Lewis is late and she's going to call, if that person says that I'm not going to give you the thing because we are closed, you and me might be able to understand that. But for Lewis, she is now used to that customer service somewhere, consciously or unconsciously. So either she would want that, even if she continues going there, she would want to be served like that from another water place, which can give her that type of service, where if she is late, she calls, they give her that product. So this is, we don't know how Lewis will react or not. She might react in the way I said, she might not. So, but I'm just saying in a general term that when you do something, you also raise the bar for the customer. Next time when you will not do it, then the customer is going to become it's a chance that the customer is going to become a little bit anti, because the customer is, you have set up precedence. You are saying, the customer is going to say, well, last time you did it, why you can't do it now? It's a possibility. And that is why it is important to stick with the rules, like cut-off time 6, well, bye bye, no one is getting any water or whatever. That is why sometimes some managers would react like that, because it sets a precedence. Same way, when I spoke about one of my wonderful lecturers, uh, that he did not take the assignment after the cut time, which was 1 p.m. or whatever, even 1 minute late, he did not take it from one of my friends. So what he is doing, he's setting a precedence. So for the rest of the semester, all his assignments, no one was late, because this everyone just knew about it, and they said, well, we need to submit a day before. Let's submit a day before. Don't even wait for the last day, and that is what happened. So it's a precedence setting also in. So this makes it very difficult. Like, you might want to give a good customer service in one situation, but be mindful that you are also setting a precedence of that. Next, other people are watching. Uh, if you cannot continue on giving that type of treatment, in this example which Lewis gave, like you are late, call us, we will hold water for you and give it to you if you come within 5-10 minutes. If you can do that continuously over a period of time, please do that. If you cannot do that, if it is the only one time you are going to do that, you have to think about this very carefully, that do you want to, you will, or you maybe clarify to the customer that okay, I'm doing it now, this is a one-off thing, I'm not going to do that. Based on my experience, even that does not work. Based on my experience, your experience can be different. My experience is that even if you tell the customer that this is one-off thing and you will not do it again, and the customer agrees that okay, you will not do it again, they they don't understand. If you don't do it again, they are going to make a case against you. They will say, well, you did it last time, why you cannot do it this time? They will forget the past. They will just, and I have experienced this many times in different type of situations where I'm giving some type of service. Personally speaking, this is my experience. So from my experience, I feel that give something which you can give continuously. If you cannot give something continuously, then think about it. Make a make an informed decision. Just think about it. After that, if you want to give it, go ahead, no problem. Satisfy the customer. But do remember that the customer expectation is once it goes up, uh, then you will have to, because, and this is very touchy topic also, expectations. It is linked with expectations. And you know, in life, when do we become sad? Any situation where you are sad, just reflect on any situation which made you sad. If you will analyze the situation, it is simply your expectations were not met. In simple words, that is why you are sad. No matter what the situation, like private, personal life, at work, in school, no matter what, you are sad, your expectations were not met. It does not happen that your expectations are met and you are kind of sad. That happens, but rarely. Generally, it is expectations. So you want to set expectation, customer expectation very carefully, or not just customer. Generally in life, expectation is like you put expectations low and give more than what is expected. So then the customer feels good. Like you expect that you will get this, and then you get something extra. So you will smile, you will be happy. Well, I was not expecting this. But if you are expecting this and you get less, then it will be a challenge for you to understand. Yeah. So I hope do enjoy reading these two chapters. When you read them, try to read them together, one after another, so the continuity is there. Thank you very much.